ExamPrep.School. Missouri Public Insurance Adjuster Exam, Exam Code 20. There are 6 practice exams in this series. This video covers Practice Exam 1. The first 20 questions are free. In this video, we will be covering the following major categories for Practice Exam 1. General insurance product knowledge, terms and concepts. Missouri statutes, rules, and regulations. Missouri statutes, rules, and regulations. Public adjuster. Let's walk through the format. I'll read each question and its choices. Let's get started. Question 1. Which of the following perils is covered under the Dwelling Property Basic DP1 form without any endorsements? A. Smoke damage inside the dwelling. B. Damage from falling objects. C. Weight of ice or snow on gutters. D. Internal explosion. A countdown circle appears in the top right. Once it completes, the answer is revealed. You can pause at any time if you'd like longer to think. If you'd like additional practice covering more topics, see the description for our book. The correct answer is D, the DP1. Basic form ensures only fire or lightning and internal explosion is named perils without endorsements. No other perils are covered. Reason A is not correct. Smoke damage is not one of the 2 named perils covered under the unendorsed DP1 basic form. Reason B is not correct. Falling objects are included only under the special DP3 form, not the basic form. Reason C is not correct. Weight of ice or snow damage is a broad form, DP2. Peril, not covered under the basic form. Question 2. Under the Dwelling Property Broad, DP2 form, which of the following perils is included that is not one of the extended coverage perils available on the DP1 form? A. Damage by smoke. B. Damage by burglary. C. Damage by vehicles. D. Damage from riot or civil commotion. The correct answer is B. The DP2 broad form adds named perils such as burglary damage, which is not part of the extended coverage endorsement on the DP1 form. Smoke, vehicle, and riot are extended coverage perils. Reason A is not correct. Smoke is one of the extended coverage perils available on DP1, so it is not unique to DP2. Reason C is not correct. Vehicle damage is included in the extended coverage endorsement of DP1 and not unique to DP2. Reason D is not correct. Riot or civil commotion is an extended coverage peril under DP1, not an addition unique to DP2. Question 3. Which of the following types of damage is specifically excluded under the Dwelling Property Special DP3 form? A. Damage from weight of ice or snow. B. Damage by impact from vehicles. C. Damage from lightning strike. D. Damage caused by rodents or insects. The correct answer is D. The DP3 special form insures against all perils except those it specifically excludes, including losses due to birds, vermin, rodents, or insects, whereas the other listed perils are covered. Reason A is not correct. Weight of ice or snow is a covered open peril under DP3, not an exclusion. Reason B is not correct. Vehicle impact is a covered open peril under DP3, not an exclusion. Reason C is not correct. Lightning is insured under the open perils DP3 form and is not excluded. Question 4. Under a homeowner's H. O2 broad form policy, which valuation method applies to losses of personal property? A. Replacement cost. B. Agreed value. C. Actual cash value. D. Functional replacement cost. The correct answer is C. The HO2 broad form provides replacement cost settlement for the dwelling but actual cash value settlement. Replacement cost minus depreciation for personal property losses. Reason A is not correct. Replacement cost applies to the dwelling structure, not personal property, under HO2. Reason B is not correct. Agreed value is not a standard valuation method for personal property in HO2. Reason D is not correct. Functional replacement cost is not used for personal property losses under HO2. Question 5. A homeowner's roof is damaged by a windstorm and several pieces of upholstered furniture are ruined by an accidental chemical spill. Under an HO3 special form policy, which of the following correctly describes coverage for the dwelling and the furniture? A. Dwelling repair is excluded but contents replacement is covered. B. Both dwelling repairs and contents replacement are covered. C. Dwelling repair is covered and contents replacement is excluded. D. Both dwelling repairs and contents replacement are excluded. The correct answer is C. The policy insures the dwelling on an open peril basis, but insures personal property only for named perils. A chemical spill is not a named peril, so furniture loss is excluded while windstorm damage to the roof is covered. Reason A is not correct. This reverses coverage since windstorm damage is an open peril and is covered for the dwelling. Reason B is not correct. This overstates coverage for contents which are limited to named perils and thus do not include chemical spills. Reason D is not correct. This ignores open peril coverage for the dwelling, which applies to windstorm damage. Question 6. A renter stores valuable jewelry at a friend's home. That friend's residence suffers a burglary and the jewelry is stolen. Under an HO4 renter's policy, which statement best describes coverage for this loss? A. Loss is excluded because the policy only covers property at the insured residence. B. Loss is covered up to 10% of the coverage C limit for personal property off premises. C. Loss is covered to the full coverage C limit regardless of location. D. Loss is covered only if the insurer is notified within 24 hours. The correct answer is B. HO4 policies cover personal property for named perils both on and away from the insured premises, with off-premises losses subject to a sublimit of 10% of the coverage C limit. So, the stolen jewelry qualifies under that sublimit. Reason A is not correct. This ignores the off-premises extension that provides coverage for personal property under HO4. Reason C is not correct. Full coverage C limits apply only on premises. Off-premises losses are limited to 10%. Reason D is not correct. There is no 24-hour notification requirement imposed by HO4 for off-premises theft. Question 7. Inland marine insurance, according to its nationwide definition, primarily provides coverage for which type of property? A. Ocean-going vessels and their cargo. B. Liability exposures of construction contractors. C. Mobile equipment and goods while in transit. D. Stationary buildings and permanently installed equipment. The correct answer is C. This option is correct because inland marine insurance covers movable property such as equipment and goods in transit rather than fixed structures or ocean vessels. Reason A is not correct. Ocean-going vessels and cargo are covered under ocean marine insurance, not inland marine. Reason B is not correct. Liability exposures for contractors relate to liability policies, not inland marine property coverage. Reason D is not correct. Stationary buildings and permanently installed equipment are covered under property or builder's risk, not inland marine. Question 8. Under a personal articles floater for jewelry and fine arts, what is required to obtain coverage for an individual item? A. An individual schedule listing a description and appraised value for each item. B. Submission of original purchase receipts only. C. Coverage on a named perils basis without scheduling. D. A single aggregate limit applying per loss occurrence. The correct answer is A. This option is correct because the personal articles floater requires each item to be individually scheduled with its description and stated value for open perils coverage. Reason B is not correct. Original purchase receipts alone do not satisfy the scheduling requirement for coverage. Reason C is not correct. The floater is written on an open perils basis and mandates scheduling of individual items. Reason D is not correct. Coverage limits apply to each scheduled item rather than as a single aggregate per occurrence. Question 9. A professional photographer carries a homeowner's policy with an unscheduled personal property sublimit of $2,000 with a $1,000 deductible, and a separate camera floater endorsement with a $10,000 scheduled limit with a $250 deductible. While traveling for a shoot, the photographer's $6,500 camera kit is stolen. How much will the photographer receive and under which coverage? A. The homeowner's unscheduled personal property coverage will pay $5,500 with no payment from the floater. B. The camera floater will pay $6,250 and the homeowner policy will not respond. C. Under the camera floater, the full $6,500 loss will be reimbursed without a deductible. D. The camera floater will pay $6,250 and the homeowner policy will also contribute $1,000. The correct answer is B. The camera floater is primary for scheduled equipment and covers the loss minus its $250 deductible. $6,500 equals $6,250. The homeowner's unscheduled limit does not apply to scheduled items. Reason A is not correct. This assumes the homeowner policy would respond and miscalculates limits, but scheduled equipment is covered first by the floater, not the unscheduled limit. Reason C is not correct. This ignores the floater deductible, which does apply to scheduled items under the endorsement. Reason D is not correct. This implies dual payments, but the homeowner policy does not contribute when a floater endorsement covers the scheduled equipment. Question 10. A contractor's inland marine policy schedules equipment with a $200,000 limit, includes an automatic newly acquired equipment extension of 25% of the scheduled amount for 90 days, and has a $1,000 deductible. The contractor purchases a $60,000 bulldozer, and 60 days later, it is stolen. How much will the policy pay? A. The policy will pay $59,000 because the scheduled limit extends to full purchase price less the deductible. B. Under the newly acquired equipment extension, the policy will pay $49,000 after applying the deductible. C. The policy will pay $50,000 reflecting the 25% extension limit, despite the deductible remaining in force. D. The policy will pay $60,000 because new equipment is covered automatically at full value for 120 days. The correct answer is B. The automatic extension provides 25% of $200,000 equals $50,000 limit for new equipment. After the $1,000 deductible, the payable amount is $49,000. Reason A is not correct. This treats new equipment as fully scheduled immediately, but the automatic extension caps coverage at 25% of the scheduled amount. Reason C is not correct. This ignores the deductible, which still applies under the newly acquired equipment extension. Reason D is not correct. This misstates the extension period and coverage value. The automatic coverage is limited to 25% for 90 days, not full value for 120 days. Question 11. In the context of an insurance contract, which of the following best defines the element of consideration? A. Statements made on the application. B. Insured's payment exchanged for insurer's promise of indemnity. C. Insurer's issuance of the policy and assumption of risk. D. Mutual assent to policy provisions by both parties. The correct answer is B. The correct answer is the exchange of value. The insured pays a premium, consideration, in return for the insurer's promise to indemnify for covered losses. Reason A is not correct. Application statements are representations, not the element of consideration. Reason C is not correct. Issuance and risk assumption describe acceptance, not consideration. Reason D is not correct. Mutual assent describes agreement, not the exchange of value required for consideration. Question 12. Which statement best exemplifies the legal purpose requirement for enforceability of an insurance contract? A. It prohibits insuring activities that violate statutes or public policy. B. It requires parties to exchange something of legal value. C. It mandates contracts be in writing and notarized to be enforceable. D. It ensures that premiums and rates are established by approved regulatory filing. The correct answer is A. The correct answer is that a contract must not ensure illegal acts or violate public policy. This is the legal purpose requirement. Reason B is not correct. Exchanging value describes consideration, not legal purpose. Reason C is not correct. Writing and notarization relate to the statute of frauds, not legal purpose. Reason D is not correct. Regulatory rate filing pertains to rate regulation, not legal purpose. Question 13. Which of the following statements is an example of a warranty in an insurance contract? A. The insured states no losses occurred in the past 5 years to the best of knowledge. B. The insurer agrees to pay covered claims within 30 days after proof of loss submission. C. The insured agrees to a 24-hour inspection by the insurer if a claim arises. D. The insured guarantees the burglar alarm will remain operational during the policy period. The correct answer is D. The correct answer is an absolute guarantee by the insured, which is the definition of a warranty in insurance contracts. Reason A is not correct. A statement of belief is a representation, not a warranty. Reason B is not correct. Agreement by the insurer to pay is a contractual promise, not a warranty by the insured. Reason C is not correct. Consent to inspection is a condition precedent, not a warranty. Question 14. A homeowner applying for dwelling coverage omitted disclosure of a previous minor water incident on the application, believing it inconsequential. After suffering extensive flood damage, the insurer discovers the omission and denies the claim. Under the doctrine governing concealment and material misrepresentation, which outcome is correct? A. The policy is void from inception due to material concealment, allowing full denial of the claim. B. Insurer must offer policy reinstatement upon payment of a surcharge reflecting the undisclosed risk. C. Coverage remains in force, but indemnity is limited to actual cash value of the loss. D. Insurer must demonstrate intentional fraud before exercising the right to rescind the policy. The correct answer is A. The correct answer is that concealment of a material fact voids the policy ab initio, granting the insurer the right to deny the claim entirely. Reason B is not correct. The insurer is not required to offer reinstatement with surcharge when material concealment voids the contract. Reason C is not correct. Voidance ab initio eliminates all coverage, not just reduction to actual cash value. Reason D is not correct. Intent is not required. Material concealment alone suffices to void the policy. Question 15. An insurer's underwriter knowingly reviews vessel logs indicating significant hull corrosion, but fails to disclose this risk to the shipping company. After a storm damages the hull, the insurer denies coverage based on corrosion exclusion. Under the doctrine of utmost good faith, which remedy is available to the insured? A. Insured may enforce the policy and recover the full claim despite insurer's failure to disclose material information. B. Insured must rescind the policy to recover any premiums paid before pursuing coverage. C. Insured is limited to a bad faith tort action, as the policy is void due to undisclosed exclusion. D. Insured must prove actual reliance on the undisclosed information to challenge the denial. The correct answer is A. The correct answer is that breach of the duty of utmost good faith entitles the insured to enforce the policy and recover the claim, as insurer's non-disclosure of material facts invalidates denial. Reason B is not correct. Rescission by insured is not the exclusive remedy. Enforcement despite breach is available. Reason C is not correct. Breach of good faith duty does not automatically void the policy. It supports claim enforcement. Reason D is not correct. Actual reliance need not be proven when material facts are knowingly withheld by the insurer. Question 16. Which statement best describes the significance of the policy inception date during claim intake? A. It denotes when the insurer's exposure to loss begins for premium determination. B. It marks the beginning of any policy-imposed waiting period before coverage can respond to a claim. C. It is used to set the date for future policy renewals and billing cycles. D. It establishes the start of the policy period and determines if a loss falls within the coverage window. The correct answer is D. The inception date is the official start of the policy period and is used to confirm whether a reported loss occurred after coverage became effective. Reason A is not correct. This distractor is incorrect because premium exposure calculations are a secondary underwriting function, not the primary coverage start. Reason B is not correct. This distractor is incorrect because it confuses the inception date with waiting periods, which are separate policy provisions. Reason C is not correct. This distractor is incorrect because renewal scheduling relates to administrative processes, not coverage triggers. Question 17. When performing claim intake, how can a public adjuster identify that a policy has lapsed due to non-payment? A. The declarations page lists the effective and expiration dates but provides no detail on cancellation reason. B. The policy's inception date occurs after the reported date of loss. C. A cancellation endorsement on the declarations page effective before the date of loss with non-payment cited as the reason. D. Premium invoices are current, with the last payment matching or following the date of loss. The correct answer is C. A cancellation endorsement citing non-payment and showing an effective date prior to the loss confirms the policy lapsed for non-payment. Reason A is not correct. This distractor is incorrect because absence of cancellation details does not confirm a non-payment lapse. Reason B is not correct. This distractor is incorrect because a later inception date reflects a coverage gap, not a lapse for non-payment. Reason D is not correct. This distractor is incorrect because current premium invoices suggest payment was made, not a lapse. Question 18. An adjuster reviews a policy for hail damage that physically occurred on May 2nd, but the insured did not report the loss to the insurer until May 14th. Under the policy's insuring agreement, which date determines coverage eligibility? A. Date the insurer received notice of the claim. B. Date the adjuster inspected the damage. C. Date the loss physically occurred. D. Date the insurer acknowledged the claim. The correct answer is C. Coverage is determined by the date the loss physically occurred, as the insuring agreement triggers on the occurrence date, regardless of report timing. Reason A is not correct. Determining coverage uses the physical loss date, not the claim notice date. Reason B is not correct. An inspection date is procedural and not tied to the coverage trigger. Reason D is not correct. Acknowledgement timing does not affect whether the event falls within the coverage period. Question 19. A public adjuster is engaged by a tenant's property manager, who is not named on the policy, to file a fire damage claim for the landlord's building. According to Missouri regulations on named insured authority, who is empowered to present the claim to the insurer? A. The tenant's property manager. B. The loss payee designated in the policy. C. The mortgagee shown on the policy. D. The landlord listed as named insured. The correct answer is D. Only the landlord named as the insured on the policy has authority to present the claim. Unauthorized third parties cannot bind the insurer. Reason A is not correct. An unlisted property manager lacks contractual authority under the policy. Reason B is not correct. A loss payee's interest is in proceeds, not in filing the claim. Reason C is not correct. A mortgagee has a financial interest, but cannot present the claim on behalf of the insured. Question 20. While opening a casualty claim under a general liability policy, the adjuster notes a subcontractor is listed as an additional insured. Which party must also receive notification of the claim under Missouri Public Adjuster Rules? A. The mortgagee with an insurable interest. B. The certificate issuing insurance broker. C. The additional insured named under the policy. D. The previous carrier that issued coverage. The correct answer is C. Additional insureds named in the policy must be notified of the claim because they have insured status and rights under that policy. Reason A is not correct. A mortgagee's interest is in property policies, not liability additional insured status. Reason B is not correct. Brokers issue certificates but do not have insured status requiring direct notification. Reason D is not correct. Previous carriers have no ongoing claim notification requirement under the current policy. Enjoyed this practice test? Tap like, hit subscribe, and share it with a classmate. Got a question we should tweak? Comment below, we read them all. Find full practice exam books in the description or at ExamPrep.School.